There's a way we can balance quality and costume.
Towards using storytelling and visual mediums as a tool to drive social change.
We're going to have to start doing them really, really well.
Because we will be confronted. Each filmmaker must decide, who is this audience and how is the best way to read this particular audience.
There's going to be a lot of storytelling and a lot of, bringing back to us why we are here. You're not here just as a participant. You're actually here to help give birth to something that we can all look back to in 10, 50 years' time and say we were the catalyst that made this happen. We also happen to have the support of a Ford Foundation to actually, lead this kind of what I call an initiative. It's daring, it's aggressive, but we are happy that they kind of recognize that this role needs to be, taken by somebody within our ecosystem. And that's why inside here, we have a combination of different people. We have scriptwriters here, we have bloggers here, we have filmmakers here. And then, and the whole idea is just to, put different minds together as we are beginning to think around this. Because from us, from the outside, looking inside, oftentimes we feel that the glory sometimes goes to the wrong people. And then at the end of the day, it becomes difficult to replicate or even develop a sustainable means of doing what we want to do. Part of our aim is to ensure that all parties actually get their rightfully desired and they are recognized in their own rightful manner, and so that way we can have everybody collectively working together over a longer period of time. So on this note, I'm going to invite our first speakers. I'm going to invite Dr. Paul Mulu to kind of set the pace for us.
Yeah, thank you, Chike. Good morning, everybody. It's also good to be here and see this come to fruition. When Chike came to me about a year and a half ago when we met and we started having discussions, those of you that know that Chike is quite a salesperson. And he passionately sold this idea to me over several meetings. I was a little skeptical because we get a lot of ideas. But as I looked at the merit of the idea and what Afrinolly had been able to accomplish, I felt confident to encourage the foundation to get involved in working with the Fans Connect Online. And now Chike is making me look very smart, because I think it was a good recommendation made. So I'm very pleased to see this first step, and I am more and more eager to see what comes out of this. And my recommendation for this was based on the commitment that the Ford Foundation has towards using storytelling and visual mediums as a tool to drive social change.
What are the needs, you understand, that we need to resolve in a manner that is consistent, so that it's not about you or me, it's about anybody who is going to use it. So we can have something that over time we can actually scale up. And once you scale it up, that's where you can have an industry.
Most times people want to shoot, everybody's talking about red. Say red, they shoot 4K and all that. But here's my perception. If I don't need to do compositing, I'm not shooting a movie that has special effects, but I need to do green screen and compress so that everything looks seamless and all that. I don't need to shoot 4K if the cinema is not showing 4K. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that it's okay for us to use whatever we have if we're looking at the mini digital platforms, the phones and all. Or if the project also is looking into some sort of international screening, then we need to be very careful the standard that we use. Because one of the major problems that productions from this country has had in the film festival is the poor quality when you screen on bigger screens. It becomes a problem. So shooting 4K might not be a problem, might not be too much of an issue, because if you're aiming for Cannes, for Sundance, these are the kind of high quality productions that you have to chunk out, and then you have to use.
As per collaboration, I think there are a couple of studios, for instance, there are a lot of type of ones around, audio studios around. I think Afrinolly can speak to these people to offer rebates to filmmakers, for instance. I know a couple of people that have DaVinci Resolve suites. You can speak to them. So the filmmakers have access to these, high-end suites for the projects.
So we have an issue with all of it?
Yes.
Fine, good.
We have an issue with audio post.
Final mix 5.1 sound.
If we start thinking about acquiring things and leasing, you're going to get caught up with the idea of material things. And creativity has nothing whatsoever to do with material things. It has everything to do with the individual bringing forth what is already within him. So how are we going to increase human capacity? That's what I think the question is.
The future is so bright in that. And we talked about different genres, someone mentioned, and I just think it's just endless.
There's just an important aspect I just needed to add, and that is the idea of cultural diversity.
I think it's awesome that Nigerian audiences, whether they are in Nigeria or outside Nigeria, prefer to consume Nigerian stories. So you've got a perfect storm. The question is, how do we get to the next level of responsibility?
I think I'm going to talk about, mention what we are not expecting out of this as a way of showing what we are expecting. I think we are not expecting things that reinforce the social inequalities that already are in the society.
Like I tell the film crew, I tell them to see themselves as ambassadors of change. Not just as people who are acting to get some stipend or coming around to do certain acts. We are all ambassadors of change, whether we like it or not.
It's important for us to show the better part of Africa. It's important for us to show the things that are happening, rather than focusing on the doom and gloom and focusing on war and genocide. And I just continue to pray that God will give us the grace, the favor, and the wherewithal to make this industry and to take it to greater and greater heights.
People are hungry and appreciative if we all come together collectively and they see the power of what is being done.